Welcome back, guys. This is the 7th chapter in our Next.js tutorial series. Today, we will learn about form validation in Next.js. We'll use the Zod package for easy validation. We will continue with our to-do app. That's why I suggest you to watch the last video for better understanding. First of all, let's update the task model and add a new field called created@. This will store the time of task creation. Timestamp is an essential record for our to-do app. Without it, you cannot distinguish the priority of each task. The setup is easy. Just add the field name and model with date data type and a default value of current date time. That's it. Just save it and run the migrate command. I think it's enough for database manipulation. Next, we will work on form validation. So without wasting any more time, let's start today's discussion by installing the Zod package. The app is running properly, and it didn't lose previous records. This is the advantage of Prisma. It maintains consistency even after structural update in any table. That's it for database update. Let's move on to the next section. Now, we have to install the Zod package in our to-do app. Check out the official NPM site for the details. The installation is pretty simple. Just run the standard npm install command with the package name. That is Zod inside your app directory. If you don't know anything about Zod or even NPM, then watch this video carefully. Zod is an effective, easy-to-use validation library that provides support for all kinds of data validation. It's ideal of form validation in Next.js. We can write the entire logic for validation without using any package, but it's not worthy to reinvent the wheel. And it saves a lot of time and debugging effort. For details, read the entire Zod documentation carefully. Still find it difficult to grasp? Don't worry, just drop your query and comment. After the successful installation of Zod, let's add it to the Create Task Server action. Remember, it is the file that contains the function to create a new task. Here we have to import Z from Zod package. Then, prepare a simple schema or map structure with the required validation. This schema is a simple set of validation rules, like the minimum length, type, and any pattern to match with the input value. In our case, the to-do app has only one input. It's the task input that should be a string. Let's make it require minimum 3 characters. In simple words, task name with less than 3 characters are not valid. It will not be saved and throw an error. In addition to the validation rule, we can also set the message that'll be shown to the users. Therefore, write something meaningful and appropriate according to the condition. With only one input, we could use string type from Zod. Still, the use object is better, as we may have multiple inputs inside a form, each with different type of data. Next, add a form state to the create function. It will handle the messaging task for the form. The form state declaration must be the first parameter. Place it before form data. We can use interface to define the form state. It's a little convenient. In our example, we are structuring an error log with 2 key sets. First one for the task, and second is the default form message. To implement it, first use the task schema to filter the input task and return the result. Soon we will use this result to determine if it's an error. If not, then set the task value to the database. The first if check is important. It will determine if the result is not success. In this case, we have to return the error. The result itself provides a huge log of error set. Although, we only need the field errors, that's the error message itself. After this, we have to update the task value in DB query. The references changes, so use result data and task to get the value. Add one more change here. Let's add some return checks inside the catch block. It will help us determine if something went wrong during database connection or data saving. Here we have to return the error as form log. It's one way to keep the messages separate. Here, I have used an if-else statement to catch all those undefined errors. This will ensure your app won't break, at least for any database errors. Once our create task function is ready, let's move on to the actual form. This time we have to make it a separate component, just as we did with the task item. Therefore, create a new file inside the component directory. Name it create task. Then, write a default export function with same name. Once done, copy the form element from the home page to this new component. Don't forget to add the return statement. This function must return this form, otherwise we can't see anything. Now you can notice some missing imports. Fix them if you wish, although we will not use the exact same structure. So, follow me and make appropriate changes. Add the new component to the home page. It must be placed properly at the same spot where the form should appear. At first, make this file a client component, use the client keyword. Then import. Use form state from React DOM. Look carefully to the interface. We don't need it here, it's only for demonstration. Suppose we have to create an edit task form. Then we will need an ID or something to find the task. The slug in the interface is meant for that. Don't bother about the naming. We can change it to ID or whatever is defined in the path. Next, observe the use form state hook. This is part that will handle, process, and render the error message that we will receive from the create task function. Again, the use of bind with action is there to demonstrate the way to pass a parameter from a client component to a server action component. The second part is a map of empty error array. This is the initial form state. Next, we'll pass it along for communication between server and client components. The biggest advantage of this approach is that it works even without JavaScript. Yes, you heard it right. This form will work with JavaScript. You can test it by disabling JavaScript in your browser. Now add a new div below the button and closing div tag inside the form. Here we have to display the error messages. So, the error box must have some unique style. I think let's make it light red and give it some padding and margin. Also set some curve for the edges. That's it. The only thing left is the actual message. Here we can read the form state to receive the error. And inside error, we have task and form keys. Use both to display messages if not empty. But wait, first we have to check if we have any message, otherwise the red box will be visible all the time, and it's not ideal for user experience. Let's fix that. After fixing the form, remove the interface and its call from the top. Now, we don't need the bind, so remove that. In the end, it's just a simple form state initialization with empty error and action reference. Finally, we have reached the wrap-up part. Let's do a quick recap and check out everything we have done so far. We have started with Zod package installation. Then, we used Zod to make a task schema. After this, we create form state interface and assign it to the function. Here, one important part to remember, we have to return the promise of form state, else we will not be able to read the error values inside the form. Once you fix it, all the squiggly red lines will remove, and our app is ready to test. Next, we use the task schema to validate the input string and return appropriate message on error. We have also updated the catch block for better error handling. After that, we have also moved the create task form to a new component, added the necessary action reference, and used form state hook to handle communication between client and server components. Once all these adjustments are done, our app is ready to test. There's a lot to observe and learn in this video. So if you wish, you could slow down the video speed. You may have noticed we are sending an array of error message. Therefore, it's possible that we may get multiple messages together. That's why we use the join method to combine multiple messages separated with a comma. It is pretty basic. For details, you can Google string join method and more about string manipulation. That's it for validation part. Let's test the app now. It seems everything is working fine. There's one more thing to show. Would you like to see how the error message looks in structure? Just put a console log call inside the result success check. This will print the error log as we receive in the form. The error log has a map structure with a task key. The value is an array of string. Although here we have only defined a single string, we could have received multiple messages this way. So, what next? I think it's time to work with the timestamp. We could see it in the entry record. Remember the created at field earlier we added in our table. It's time to use it to show the task entry date. I want to show the date above each task in the list. And the list is displayed using the task item component. Therefore, open the task item component. Add a new paragraph above the text, and with a little styling, it will show the task creation date on top of the text. I think the style is self-explanatory, so let's focus on the date time formatting. The date class has a built-in method for current date, one for the month, and one more for full year output. I've only concat these three in a single string to form the perfect date month year output. Check it out. The date must be lighter than actual task text. That's why I have used a gray color for its display. Also, it's better to adjust its size smaller than the task. Let's see what else can we do with the UI here. The arrangement should be correct as the task and buttons are in a row, and the date should be in a column with this layout. I think wrapping the link and task button inside of FlexDiv will solve this issue. Let's try it out. Now, it is looking good and well organized. So I think we can now work with the date formatting. It's easy. As I have already said, we only have to concat the date, month, and full year with some forward slashes into a single string. Let's do that, and then we will display it in the right spot. It's looking good, isn't it? Next, we can update the UI for the ID page. Maybe add the created date there and tweak the layout a bit. Please suggest what else you want to do with this app. For now, it seemed fine. It is working as expected. We can now store the task in database, update its status, and act according to the store time. If you find it hard to understand style changes, then must watch the styling chapter for revision. Else, you can also drop a comment with your query. Updating the ID page is not that difficult. I simply copied the custom date format here and used it for the display. A few adjustments with styles and everything fine. Let's try it before the final wrap up. That's it for today's session. If you find it helpful, then give this video a thumbs up. Share it with friends, and don't forget to subscribe my channel. Today, we learn about form validation using Zod library. Learn about saving and using timestamp in Next.js. Next time, we will dive deep into the working of Next.js. Drop a comment. Let me know what else you want to code next. See you soon in the next chapter. Till then, keep coding and keep learning. Thanks for watching TechnoSpace.